Oh, no, no. So I will do the speech in English. Okay, sorry, because there's people online following us by streaming. Okay, we are here to talk about mentioning research. That's a format which is made specifically, especially for the students of a master program at Elisaba. And mentioning research, we designed this program because in Spain, there are two kinds of master programs. One is the professional master programs. 95% of master programs in Spain, especially in design, are professional, of this professional type. These master programs are accredited by a university, but they are not driving to a doctorate. That means it's maybe, if you want to apply for a doctorate in a certain university, maybe they accept the master, but it's not giving 60 official credits. So a university can accept your master, because that happens from time to time, but it is not automatically at all. This is what happens with professional masters in Spain. There is another kind of masters, which is the university masters, universitary masters. Those masters are focused what we understand should be a master in design. But there was an opportunity through mentioning research to do both things in the same year. What's mentioning research? And these people, I'm sorry, I'm Santiago Albert. Yeah. I'm the director of the postgraduate school of Elisaba. And here you will find Rafa Pozo, director of TGraph Research Group, and also of this mentioned research program. And Miguel Jaime is the most relevant tutor of the program. Is that more or less? Both are doctors. It's not the most relevant, but for me, yes, it is. He is. And okay, and mentioning research is a postgraduate diploma on scientific communication of a design project. What's that? It's a program in which you will learn the skills to make a scientific communication in format of paper, memory, whatever it is. So it's giving you skills for a future doctorate, and in addition it's giving you 60 official credits, 60 official ECTS credits valid in all Europe and all countries. Why is giving you 60 credits if it is a postgraduate? Because it's accredited by a institution, a Portuguese institution. In Portugal, the format is 3 years for an undergrad and 2 years for a master. In Spain, it's 4 years for an undergrad, 1 year for a master. So our systems are slightly different. Okay, this program is accredited by ISEC Portugal. Rafa will, okay, that's fine like this. We'll talk to you a little bit more about ISEC Portugal. It's an institution, it's an official institution with different research groups. Rafa is directing one of these research groups, which is TGraph, and in TGraph is where we have this mentioning research, okay? And how much do you have to work? Basically, on the memory, on the paper, and in some sessions to have the skills of what is a scientific communication, and a lot of tutoring. And this program can be overlapped with your master, and in fact, you will develop a memory or a paper in relation with what you will do in the master, or the main project, or one of the projects of the program. So what you will learn in the master is a part of what you will learn in the program, in the postgraduate program. So it's just convalidating some credits of the postgraduate. So at the end, I think they have to do 20 somewhat credits. Yeah, 60 credits, but a part of these credits are convalidated. 30 from the master, okay? Yeah, it's like this? Mm-hmm. Then, it's not the first year we do mentioning research. I think it's the 3rd or 4th year. It's about 20, 25 students enroll in this program every year. That's fine. It's not about having a significant number of students because the follow-up is individual. So no matter if you enroll 1, 2, or 30, the mentioning research will start. Okay, it's not about having enough students. And 12 students the first year, 20 plus 25, we are talking about 60 students, more than 60 students, because some teachers of Elisava has followed as well the mentioning research. And some of them, they are right now doing a doctorate. Okay, so the system works. The mentioning research works, it's a good solution. This mentioning research has an open path for a doctorate with the University of Lisbon, with the School of Architecture and Design. This is an open path and an agreement we have with them. To go for a doctorate in other institutions, it's not as easy. I mean, you will have the 60 credits, but you have had to have a good thesis, a good proposal, and convince the departments, because in general, when you apply for a doctorate, it's necessary that you have a certain relationship with the department of that university, okay? But in any case, it's giving you 60 official credits, which is, I would say, the most important thing. And I don't know, I think the best is to let these people explain you in depth what the program is about, and it's your turn.
Bueno, buenos días. Soy Rafael Pozo, como director de este programa. Yo me voy a dirigir en español y, si queréis, también en portugués. Y mi colega, en este caso Jaime, se dirigirá en inglés. Y lo iremos haciendo bilingüe. ¿Bien?
It's important. The program is trilingual. That means you can follow the program in Spanish and English, I mean the tutoring, and your memory or your paper can be in Spanish, English, and Portuguese. No matter the language, you can choose, okay? These 3 languages, no more than this, but I think it's flexible enough.
Bien, voy a aclarar esto, 2 minutos, no, 1 minuto, para entenderlo. Nosotros creemos que el paso hacia la ciencia, el paso hacia la investigación, tenemos que pensar, tenemos que hablar y tenemos que escribir en la lengua materna. Si no sabemos escribir en nuestra lengua materna, es muy difícil hablar, en este caso, en una lengua inglesa, y por lo tanto, por criterio científico, esa es la primera norma que tenemos que aprender. ¿Bien? Por esto separamos. Dicho esto, bueno, yo os doy la bienvenida oficialmente al ISEC Lisboa a explicaros este programa. Este programa es un acuerdo con Elisava. Yo soy profesor de Elisava desde hace 31 años, por lo tanto tengo Elisava en el de esto, pero las circunstancias de la investigación también me permiten estar como un buen jugador de fútbol que lo han fichado también en Portugal, y tengo doble nacionalidad. Las tonterías también las traduces, por favor. Sí, es importante, es importante. Bien, entonces, esta es la site de Elisava, con lo cual ya la conocéis. Yo ahora os presento el espacio, la plataforma online, que es el Centro de Investigación TIGRAPH, al cual perteneceréis si queréis hacer este programa. Sí, sí, sí.
Welcome to Mentioning Research Program. We are a program associated to Elisava. It's together with ISEC Lisboa Institute, and Rafa Pozo is the director of the program. I'm a main tutor in the program, and we have done this for 3 years now. This is going to be the 4th version of the program, and it has been a success until now, and I'm sure it's going to be again with you in this case. Our idea is that you have to do your research in your mother tongue. This is very important because you will go into depth in a certain type of knowledge, on way of thinking and way of writing, that you need to do that in your mother tongue. That's why you are able to do it in Portuguese, in Spanish, or in English. And you'll be able to write and to discuss in class in any of these languages, because we will explain this later on, sessions in which you have discussions with your peers, and all this is in your mother tongue. This is very important for all of you that are here and those that are connected from internet, which we welcome also. This is the main site for Mentoring Research program inside the Elisava platform, in where you will have all the information related to mentoring research.
Let me ask you a question. If I'm Norwegian, my mother tongue is Norwegian, can I make the papers, write the papers in Norwegian?
Norwegians would never say their mother tongue is Norwegian, because
no.
everybody speaks English and uses English.
It's a tricky question. I'm referring that, it's mother tongue, but you have to choose among Spanish, Portuguese, and English. The language in which you feel more comfortable and in which you feel you can express your thoughts in a better way, okay? It's not valid to write in Serbian.
Yes,
No,
in
I'm
my-
telling you
in-
that because there are students from Norway or Serbia,
Yes,
maybe
yes.
not here, but
it's
but yeah, in
true.
the school.
It's important to add to this, that English is the academic universal language. So also we do recommend, if you are able to write properly in English, that you do it, because you will enter immediately in a system that it's what happens when you engage in mentoring research. You enter in a group of researchers, and your work would be available to other researchers. And in English is the language in which you will get universally everywhere in the world.
Bien. Como veis, la ciencia y la investigación tiene problemas desde el principio, pero para eso estamos, para superarlos. Por lo tanto, sigo diciendo de que las lenguas son importantes, pero es mucho más importante saber pensar, y para esto se requiere, si alguien es de Serbia o es de China, o incluso alumnas de India de este año, pues ellas están pensando en su idioma. Pero bueno, pero hay que dar la facilidad para todo esto. Bien. Para que veáis que no somos dogmáticos. Bien. Entonces, aquí presentamos, esta es la 4ª edición. Es importante que el concepto de programa es predoctoral. Esto no significa que vais a hacer el doctorado, sino significa que entráis dentro de la investigación, del concepto de la investigación, y vosotros entráis desde una plataforma muy potente que es la generación de contenidos en un máster del Elisava. Por lo tanto, el Mentoring Research es un programa paralelo al máster que vais a desarrollar en el Elisava. En el máster en el Elisava generaréis el contenido, el argumento de vuestra investigación, fruto de un proyecto en diseño, y en el Mentoring Research desarrollaréis la comunicación científica relacionada con ese contenido. Y las dos formarán parte de este pack al cual os estáis matriculando.
Yes, this program is associated with the master you are taking in Elisava already. So you are going to produce knowledge in your master program. Let's call it a design project in your master program. And mentoring research is associated to that experience in the master. And what you're going to do in mentoring research is to learn how to communicate scientifically what you are doing in your master program. Related to the project you are developing in your master program, you will generate a question which you produce a scientific communication that will be related to the master program. So it's not something alien, something different from what you're doing already in your master during this course.
Yeah. So you're talking about studying simultaneously the master and mentioning research. Is it possible to study it later in a consecutive way? The answer is yes, but the cost is different. While you are studying at the same time, some tutoring and some activities are related and linked between the master and mentioning research. You can do it in a consecutive way with the condition that you have studied a master and succeeded in the master at Elisava. If the cost is, I think, is 2,200 for a simultaneous program, is 3,300 for a consecutive program. But it's also possible to study it later once you have finished the master. There are some students that are doing this. Most of the students are doing it simultaneously. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. You already you have finished your master. Okay, so now in your case this is going to be consecutive. Okay, so it's for sure. So it's 3,300. And yeah, you have studied Emerging Futures, which is a cross program between Elisava and IAC. And yeah, you are allowed to do mentioning research if you consider it worthy, which is for sure. Okay. Yeah, all of you will receive an email from masters@elisava.net with a link. Okay, this link is driving you to the pre-master application for mentioning research. Okay, if you receive the link and you want to enroll, just click the link and you will enter in the same application you entered when you enrolled in the master. Okay, but specifically for mentioning research, you can do it. Okay, so don't worry, you will receive this mail from Carl and his team, and you will know how to do it. What's the date for beginning the program? It's middle October?
En septiembre, principios de octubre. Bueno, veréis que la página está en portugués porque es como oficialmente se tiene que cursar, porque el diploma de posgrado de 60 créditos ECTS es íntegramente 100% del ISEC Lisboa, por lo tanto esa documentación es portuguesa a nivel europeo, por lo tanto, y esta documentación está marcada, como veréis aquí en las unidades curriculares, asignaturas. Hay 6 asignaturas de las cuales reparten los créditos ECTS, y la convalidación que se hace de los contenidos generados en el máster de Elisava aproximadamente va de la 1 a la 3. La 1 y la 3, de 1, 2 y 3 asignaturas, son referentes a la certificación que sale por haber realizado el máster en Elisava. Sí, la 4, pero está un poco intermedio. En total son 25 créditos ECTS y el resto, hasta los 60, son los que se generan directamente en el Mentoring Research. Por lo tanto, aquí vemos que académicamente hay un aval entre el máster y directamente con un aval académico entre los contenidos generados en Elisava con los contenidos que se generan en el ISEC Lisboa. Y esto es gracias a un acuerdo oficial que estamos ahora en la 4ª edición.
Yes, this is part of an official agreement between Elisava Mentioning Research and ISEC Lisboa. This documentation is in Portuguese because it's official documentation that comes from Lisbon in this moment. Here you have these 6 ways in which the 60 credits are assigned for the work you do in mentioning research. The 3 first are produced entirely in your master program. It means they come from the work you do already in your master program, and the rest is a combination and purely what you do in mentioning research, which is what evaluates or certifies your skills properly in research skills. So this is how this goes, and all this goes inside this official agreement between these institutions.
Esto significa que el curso empieza en octubre. De octubre, en el primer semestre, los primeros 6 meses, aparte de estar desarrollando el programa en paralelo o con el máster en Elisaba, Elisa Lisboa está evaluando vuestra evolución en el máster, por lo tanto está evaluando cómo se están generando los contenidos, que esto es muy importante, y esto hace que a nivel científico podamos nosotros avalar y firmar conforme vuestra evolución es la correcta y vais enfocando vuestro proyecto hacia una comunicación científica. Por lo tanto, que se os quite de la idea que esto es papeles, sellos y tonterías, sino que aquí hay una evolución, hay un compromiso que empieza en octubre y que llega hasta julio. Incluso hay un detalle que es un poco de extrañar, es que posiblemente el máster de Elisaba lo finalicéis en julio. Esto lo finalizaréis seguramente el 15 de octubre. Quiere decir que una vez acabado en julio y entregado vuestro proyecto, esa comunicación científica tiene que pasar por el Consejo Técnico Científico del ISEC Lisboa y de TIGRAPH. Entonces, siempre en ciencia se hacen alegaciones, porque en ciencia es muy difícil hacer un proyecto perfecto. Esas alegaciones os entregan por escrito y durante el mes de agosto tenéis el tiempo suficiente como hacer las rectificaciones para poder depositar, en este caso, perdón, he dicho antes 15 de octubre, es el 15 de septiembre. Quiere decir, hace 2 días se han entregado todos los trabajos definitivamente que se han hecho en este curso 2021. ¿Sí? Entonces, esto mientras voy a hacer.
We start normally in October. The idea is that we start a little bit later than in your master program, because then you start getting an idea of what you're going to do in your master program. Never mind, it always happens. None of you have any idea, or almost any have an idea of what it's going to do during the master program, so you get like kind of hesitated, but don't worry, this is part of our job, and this is normal. In research, what you do is to find something you don't know what it is when you started doing the research. So this is one thing you are going to get used to. So we start in October and it ends in September. The final submission is the 15th of September. And you have until then to submit in mentioning research. You have done this in your master in July. So at the end, you have time enough for completing your submission in mentioning research of your scientific report. The thing is that these have to go to a scientific committee in Lisbon that checks that what you are doing is in the proper direction, and this checking is right from the beginning. This means that we have established a way of working in which, don't worry again, we give you the tools to solve this problem of starting you in a new activity of scientific by this scientific committee. So forget about this being just a matter of red tape. It's an expression that means just bureaucracy. This is truly developing research skills that will help you in the future. There are different levels of, you're going to meet Rafa and me all the time in the sessions we're going to have here. The revision or the checking, the reviews are going to done by tutors. You will get the names of the tutors that include us also. The scientific committee is an official group of people that it's a mixture between Lisbon and mentioning research and TIGRAPH, and you won't get to meet them. They are the ones that check this from another level, that we all get in touch, and your work, when you submit something, in each level you are always, you get a signature of who is checking this, and it's a very direct relationship. What you submit is read, commented, and you can have a dialogue. And we do have this discussion and dialogue all the time.
Consider that there are two academias, different academias. One is the Master's Academia, with its tutors, teachers, director, and so, and there is an evolution. You will see many people in your programs, professionals, doctors, all kind of people linked with the contents of your program, your master program. And then there is another academia specialized in scientific communication. No matter the specialty, it's these people. And then you will see a follow-up. This board that is evaluating your memory or your paper you mentioned in research is the one who is who at the end will decide your qualification and if it is enough, or you have to do some modification, some corrections to the text. This will happen. So these people will read your memory and will say, no, this is not enough. You should modify that, at that point, and then you have to submit this in 15 days. So all this feedback will happen because this is the process. This is the process in mentioning research. The process in the master is different. It depends on the projects, it depends on many things. So consider this is two separate academias. One is working on what the other is producing, but the knowledge is different, it's totally parallel. You will learn, in the master you will not enter in what is a scientific communication. This is not the purpose of the master. But in mentioning research, this is the main purpose of mentioning research. So you are having, in addition, some additional skills that I think are very useful. I mean, to write a memory is not easy at all. Most probably in the master, you don't have to present a memory. You have to present a final project. But it's not necessary to do a full memory with all what is needed for a scientific communication. If you want to do this, then mentioning research is the program. And that's why this is preparing you, is pre-doctoral. It's a pre-doctoral program. Rafa has defined this in the beginning.
For those connected to internet, the question is if the program is possible to be done 100% online. No problem.
Oficialmente es 80% autónomo, 20% presencial, pero se puede hacer con las alumnas de la India. Fue 100% presencial, bueno, yes. 100% online.
Officially, it has to be 80% autonomous work and 20% you have to be here. But we've done it before for students. Last version was from India, for example. They couldn't come because of the pandemic and so on, and it is possible to be done 100% online.
We recommend to attend to some face-to-face sessions if possible, but it can be followed online.
Bueno, la prueba está de que esta es cuarta edición. Estamos pasando 2 años terribles de pandemia y este programa ha aumentado exponencialmente. ¿Y cuál es el aval? Yo creo que el aval lo tenéis aquí. Más sincero que esto ya no puede ser. Si os vais a estudios, repositorio de TIGRAPH y MIR proyectos, clicáis y aquí están todos los proyectos que se han desarrollado en el Mentoring Research. Desde el principio hasta el final. Hay algunos que están activados, estos de aquí, los del 21, como la entrega se hizo el día 15, estarán a partir del mes de octubre, porque ahora están en fase de evaluación y, por lo tanto, pero el índice, si hay un índice importante, es que más del 95% de todos los alumnos, alumnas, han sacado notas brillantes. Repito, notas brillantes.
Rafa is not aware, but he is violating the data protection laws right now. I mean, just he wants to show you that there is a lot of people involved in this. There is a lot of people involved in projects. Okay, please.
No,
Because there are names.
y cuando digo notas brillantes es porque
Okay.
puedo demostrarlo. O sea,
Don't take
yo,
it into account, please. It's just the way to show you that, yeah.
por ejemplo, vamos a...
No, but these are the.
Sí, Rafa, lo que está diciendo es que
No, perdona, no. Todos los alumnos han un momento. No. Todos los,
I think I have to intervene here.
todos los, aquí estamos hablando de Open Science, lo que se llama ciencia abierta. Por lo tanto, todos los alumnos han autorizado expresamente que esté esto subido en el repositorio de TIGRAPH, porque es un requisito indispensable para que se genere comunidad de investigación. Porque si no, lo que estaremos haciendo es volver al siglo XVII, a la época feudal, y generar investigaciones que no sirven para nada.
Yes, this is important
Ya
to
está.
be translated. Once you get into mentioning research, you become part of this group of researchers. You are not a student anymore. You are a researcher. Right from the beginning, you start your research. Then you have access to this, which is open for those that are already engaged in mentioning research, and it has been there for 3 years now. And it's, once you finish your work, of course, you will give authorization, which I do recommend you give. So you start also being part of this group, and not only from this group, because once you go into research networks, your name and the name of your research will be there. You have the chance to check the work of all the previous research works that have been posted here. And this is very interesting because you will find people that have done works in your same area of interests, and you will find also people that have done this research on other fields that maybe you need to know something because you want to make mixtures of knowledge. This openness is something very, very, very important from mentioning research. We want to build this open net of researchers that automatically can be connected, and they work together and they collaborate, and this spirit goes into our activities inside in mentioning research and the sessions we will have here and all of you together. Okay?
Bueno, dejarme matizar un tema para que veáis que cuando en esta sesión os hemos dejado entrar dentro del recinto de TIGRAPH con todas las libertades, os vayáis a matricular o no os vayáis a matricular. También os tengo que decir que esto solamente está abierto para los investigadores. Para una persona que me llame de donde sea, es que mi investigación quiero relacionarla con esto, perdona, no, porque esto forma parte de una memoria que se está generando de investigación dentro del propio colectivo, que es del ISABA y en este caso de TIGRAPH. Queda claro, ¿no? O sea, en este caso, como se está grabando, pues hay que establecer.
For all the researchers enrolled in TIGRAPH or in mentioning research. So if you enroll in mentioning research, you will have access to all this, and you will expose as well your works for the rest of the community, okay, which is very, very interesting and helps you a lot to produce a better material, and allows you to get inspiration from other researchers and having feedback. So it's pretty good, yeah. But it's inside TIGRAPH community. So this is not open to the world. That's why I said it's you're having numbers and you're having names, and yeah,
No,
but it's okay.
En este caso también, por ejemplo, de las personas que están aquí referenciadas, en este momento hay 16 que están en fase doctoral, de primero, segundo y tercer año. Y uno de los requisitos de una investigación doctoral es la confidencialidad de los contenidos. Por lo tanto, si alguien expresa, no, es que yo voy a hacer mi investigación doctoral, pues por lo tanto entrará dentro de una rigurosidad académica la que corresponda. Si alguien dice, no, es que a mí me interesa utilizar esto para expandir y publicitar que pueda acceder, pues esto sirve como un aval. Si alguien dice, ¿dónde ha hecho usted su investigación? Y accede aquí, se le puede dejar que se le vea su trabajo.
Yes, you can always allow your work to be seen from outside. But anyway, the important thing is that these works that are here, that are uploaded here, are part of a private research you do, and you can decide what to do with it. There are 16 persons here in this list that are currently following the doctorate program. So those, they don't want their research to be open to other people, because when you are doing a doctorate and you are going to do a doctoral thesis, you want to guarantee that the originality of your proposal is kept until you defend, is the expression, your doctoral proposal. And once you do that, there are very sophisticated procedures for putting it in public, which means you have to do a deposit of your thesis, but it is a doctoral story, which is different. This is not a doctoral program. This gives you skills in research that could be accepted and have to be accepted as doctoral requirements in any part of the world if you are interested in following up a doctorate afterwards. When will you wish to have a doctorate? If you want to enter academia, if you want to be a professor, that's normally what you do. You don't do a doctorate to be a professional. It's a different field. Master programs are for professional aims, and doctorate programs are scientific, for academia, for professorship, okay? Yes. Yes, the question for the people connected through internet is what scientific content means in mentioning research exactly, and what amount of effort that would mean. Ella pregunta ¿qué es eso de científico? Carácter científico, eso lo vas a explicar.
You can write a scientific communication about a social project. I mean, it's the way you will develop your memory. The reference you have to put, the exact way to express the verbal time, everything. I mean, for doing a scientific communication, no matter if it is about social, about human, about science, about whatever you want, it has to be made in a very specific way. So you will learn the skills in how to do this, and also in how to do the research.
Yes, Rafa is going to explain this. This was next point.
Okay.
Bueno, esto que estás preguntando es un poco nuestro secreto. Si nosotros tenemos una fórmula secreta, más o menos te la esbozo un poquito, te la presento.
Yes, this is exactly the center of our proposal in mentioning research. This is the kind of our secret that we're going to share with you.
En una investigación, tú te vas a plantear qué quieres investigar y cómo lo vas a investigar. Nosotros, el qué, lo vas a obtener de los contenidos que vas a generar en el máster del ISABA. El cómo lo vas a obtener del Mentoring Research. Y el cómo es cómo estructurar el pensamiento, cómo estructurar el diálogo y cómo estructurar el redactado, para que, en este caso, el receptor, que es la academia científica, pueda entender aquellas ideas que tú has desarrollado en el proyecto en diseño.
Yes, the scientific means exactly that you are going to develop with us what you are going to do the research about and how you are going to do it. The formula is that you get this what from your master program, is where you get this idea you want to go in depth, and how is in what we're going to help you. It's our part of the job in mentioning research. And this means structuring the way you think about something to really go in depth. Second, how you dialogue, how you discuss this idea you have and you are trying to go in depth. And third, how you're going to write about this, how you're going to communicate this. This seems to be easy, and it is easy, but it has to be that way. If it's not that way, it's not scientific. This means, in a very general way, to have a question, to have a methodology, to answer that question, a methodology that can be considered to be scientific, which means everybody thinks will have a chance to get to the truth or to a true result. And third, that you arrive to a conclusion that moves you from this first question to a kind of new state in which you answer that question and open enough new questions in order to develop knowledge about this area. This sounds complicated, but this is something you do by doing. We do this here, doing it, just as you do in design. You are designing, you are not studying, concentrating, and afterwards you go and you draw the result or you build your model for your design. You know that you have to do models, write, draw, read, and in this doing, the thing appears. This is how it works in design. It's something more or less like this in research, but with certain rules that you have to learn how to apply them. Once you have these, you incorporate these skills in you, and then you are able to work in departments of research in any company, or follow up a doctorate program, or use those skills in your design activity.
Bien, pues poca cosa.
We answered your question? Yes, you have a second question about how much work does that mean? I wouldn't say it's the biggest, my experience or our experience is not that it's not that much work. I know. It means changing the attitude, learning this new attitude. And this is what it's more difficult, because you tend to, in design, you don't have to justify what you're doing. You just have to arrive to an object, to an artifact, to a solution. This is design. You have to change reality. In research, you have to change knowledge. You have to change what is known about this aspect you're working with. And these have certain rules. So it's more about changing the attitude, and it takes time, and it takes to go through the process we offer you. Don't worry, because the effort you do it mostly. The worst part, you do it here with our help. In seminars, we work here, and we give you a very guided way to learn how to do this. Afterwards, you have enough time to work at home, in your studio, whatever, to develop your work. So it's not that amount of work. I would say it's more that an effort to change the attitude, to learn a new attitude.
Bien, solamente para concluir, me gustaría volver a repetir esto que he dicho, que no lo he dicho a nivel publicitario. El 95% de los alumnos, alumnas, han finalizado con notas brillantes. El otro 5% le falta por entregar el trabajo.
It's not a matter
Y esto
of...
queda grabado. Esto queda grabado, con lo cual, más garantía que esto ya no se puede dar.
Yes, this is being recorded, so whatever we are saying here can be rechecked. And Rafa, who is the director, is putting his word in this. 95% of previous students has achieved brilliant qualifications. And the rest are waiting because they haven't submitted. So, and it's, I'm going to add from my side, being involved in this third level in academia for a long time, I have a lot of times heard this idea, how on earth all doctoral theses have this summa cum laude? Well, you know, it's just a matter of getting the new attitude, breaking that point and getting to the other side in which you are doing a true research. And this almost all the time gains a very good qualification by reviewers because it's very difficult to do it. It's very difficult to find a real good question. It's not a brilliant answer. It's a good question, a problem that it's true, that needs to be solved, that needs to be researched. And this, when you find it, if you do it properly, following the rules you need to do it, and you produce a document in which you communicate clearly, because you use this format, academia or science puts for its documents, from its communication, then it's the result is always eyes opener. And this is why qualifications tend to be that brilliant.
Okay, so if you want to enroll, just you will receive the link at the email, click the link and go forwards. If you have other questions, you have any doubt, I don't know if they can write to you or they can write to Masters Elisaba and Carla. For any question or doubt, should they ask to you, Masters Elisaba? Okay, so write an email to masters@elisaba.net and you will have a reply immediately, no matter if you want to ask something to the directors or you have doubts about the administration or the process. Okay? Thank you for being patient. Thank you for coming here and show your interest for this format. I think it's pretty good. Okay. Bye-bye.
Just a second for the selfie. My mom, who is almost 90, loved to receive these pictures. Thank you very much.